This is a cool sales and marketing story. I read this last night. I loved it. I said, I'm going to read it to you. It's about a $450 million sale of a painting to a Saudi prince. This write-up comes from Project Kim on X. Last time I read something from Project Kim, I was able to clip it into a video that ended up getting 4.5 million views. Let's see if I can do that again. But here is the thread. This guy sold a $450 million painting of Jesus to a Saudi prince in 19 minutes. But the real work of art was his insane sales strategy. Here's how he pulled off the most expensive art sale in history. In 2017, Christie's exec, Loïc Gouzer, had a wild idea. Sell a controversial Da Vinci for a record price. The art world scoffed at the painting. Salvator Mundi was debatably a fake. But Gouzer saw opportunity where others saw risk. Gouzer's strategy? Break every auction rule. His first move was to take the painting on a world tour, not to museums, but to billionaires' living rooms. Why? He knew the ultra-rich don't just buy art, they buy exclusivity and bragging rights. But it gets crazier. And before I read on, I know you might be thinking what I was thinking, which is, well, okay, not everyone has access to tons of billionaires to show them paintings, and not everyone is a former Christie's exec or Christie's exec like this guy was, or maybe still is. But there are actual lessons that anybody can use at the end of this. The lessons are really good. They're worth thinking about. So it gets even crazier. Next, he put the Da Vinci in a contemporary art sale. Purists were outraged, but Gouzer knew his audience. Tech billionaires were more likely to attend a flashy contemporary auction than an old-fashioned event. And the marketing was unorthodox. Christie's made a video of people crying at the painting. They called it the male Mona Lisa. Even Leonardo DiCaprio posed with it. The hype was building, but the real genius was yet to come. Gouzer set the starting bid at $100 million. Insanely high, right? No, it was strategic. It shifted the conversation from, is it authentic, to, is it worth $100 million? A subtle but crucial difference in perceived value. At auction night, the tension was electric. Bidding opened at $90 million. 19 minutes later, the hammer fell. The price, a cool $450.3 million, the most expensive painting ever. The real surprise was that only 2 people were bidding. Gouzer orchestrated a bidding war between 2 billionaires, each thinking the other would stop. A masterclass in high-level FOMO, fear of missing out. The result? A sale that redefined the art market. The buyer remained a mystery for days. Then the bombshell came. It was Saudi Arabia's crown prince, Mohammed bin Salman. I hope I'm pronouncing that name correctly. Suddenly, it wasn't just about art. It was geopolitics, power, perception. A young, ambitious leader now owned a Christian icon by a Renaissance master. It wasn't just to diversify Saudi's economy, but the ultimate status symbol. Whatever the motive, Gouzer's strategy paid off spectacularly. The techniques are applicable to any high-ticket sale. Number 1, understand buyer psychology. Number 2, build hype through exclusivity. Number 3, know your audience intimately. Number 4, break industry norms strategically. Number 5, create competition, even if the competition is artificial. Number 6, create an experience, not just a product. Number 7, anchor high to shift the value conversation. One of the most common pieces of advice, raise your prices. I'm gonna read these 7 things just one more time. Understand buyer psychology, build hype through exclusivity, know your audience intimately, break industry norms strategically, create competition even if it's artificial, create an experience, not just a product, anchor high to shift the value conversation. Gouzer knew the buyer psychology. That's why he did the tour, bringing the painting around and creating a video with Leonardo DiCaprio tearing up at the painting. And the tour helped make it exclusive. He broke industry norms, started the price insanely high, also put it in a sale that normally it wouldn't be in. Put it in the contemporary sale, not the old-fashioned sale. Created artificial competition, which wasn't really described in this. I mean, it kind of was. He showed it to so many people and got so many people interested, I guess, though I'm not sure what competition was artificial. But I've seen this done so much myself. I talked about a guy who sold a course he sold $500,000 worth of a course in a week. And I read this on the podcast before. That was a really good story. I would super highly recommend it. It's episode 460 of the show, $500,000 from course pre-sales in a week with a small social media audience. And the guy who sold the course, he's like, yeah, I'm going to do a week-long pre-sale and then I'm closing it after the week. He could have left it open for more than a week. He's like, oh, I needed to do it for only a week because I didn't want to distract myself too much. Probably just could have left it open. But by limiting it as a week, it created scarcity. Not quite competition, but it was scarcity and it didn't have to be a week. Something that I saw, I guess I'll talk about this. I was wondering if I should, but I'll talk about it. So me and my friends, I've talked about this before, we made the first play-to-earn game in blockchain in crypto. We made the first video game in blockchain and cryptocurrency. We made the first video game. It's called World of Ether. And games that came after us, something that they did is they created fake buyers to buy their in-game assets. So when in-game assets were posted, some of them would just get snatched up really fast. And this created all of this competition because people thought if they didn't buy fast enough, they were gonna miss out. And then several years later, you saw this during the NFT boom, and this was very common. This was created completely artificial competition. I don't know if this is legal or not, so I'm not recommending this, but I am saying this is something that happened that was used a lot and that made a lot of people tons of money. And that's the number 5, create competition, even if artificial. And then I really like 6, create an experience, not just a product. And you see that. The whole, like everything starting from showing the painting, creating a hype for the painting, this fast-paced sale, it's an experience. And then anchor high to ship the value conversation, raise prices. And the thread ends, remember, in high-ticket sales, you're not just selling a product, you're selling a story, a status, a legacy. Gouzer sold a piece of history still making headlines years later. What lasting impact will your next sale have? And that is all for this thread from @ProjectKim on X. It is a Saturday morning. I enjoyed reading that last night, and I enjoyed reading it again to you this morning. Thank you so much for watching. If you were watching on YouTube, thank you so much for listening. If you were listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, this is episode 507 of my daily digital marketing show, 507 days in a row. And I will talk to you again tomorrow. Bye now.